So a lot of you guys been asking me what is my type, and I actually kind of like this.
There is a quality that some people carry into every room they enter that has nothing to do with confidence and everything to do with inevitability. Confidence is elective. You can deploy it or retract it, modulate it for different audiences, amplify it when the moment demands it, and quiet it when the room rewards something more recessive. Inevitability is categorically different. It is what happens when a person's physical presence in a space is simply non-negotiable regardless of their intention. When the room reconfigures around their arrival before a single word has been spoken or a deliberate gesture made. You cannot produce inevitability through effort or through studied presentation. You either carry it or you do not. Angel Fernandez carries it at 23 years old. Latina. Based in the United States. With 5.2 million followers and 170 million views on her strongest single upload. And the biography of someone who has been making rooms reconfigure around her arrival since she was old enough to walk into them. Welcome back to CurveWalk Studio, the plus-size model and curvy model wiki biography channel, home of the plus-size curvy women documentary playlist and the Curve Files on Spotify. Two terms establish the representational vocabulary every profile in this archive operates inside. Big Beautiful Woman, BBW, Supersize Big Beautiful Woman, SSBBW, both describe genuine, irreducible categories inside the full-figured plus-size model world. And Angel Fernandez inhabits both with the implacable, gravitational ease of someone who has never once had to announce herself before a room already understood she was there. Her IG handle is Angel Fernandez. 23 years old in 2026. Latina. Based in the United States. 307 posts. 5.2 million followers. 523 accounts followed back. Followed by +_African_Queens. And she carries one designation no other creator in the CurveWalk Studio plus-size model wiki biography archive has previously held. Tallest plus-size model in the world. That is not a content positioning decision. It is a factual description of a physical reality that has shaped every dimension of this platform, every viral moment, and every frame of every upload since the first one appeared. What does being the world's tallest plus-size model actually mean, and why does that specific intersection generate 170 million views? It means existing at a convergence the fashion industry has treated as structurally implausible for most of its operating history. Height has been coded as a runway asset within a very specific narrow-body framework. Plus-size representation has been built largely inside a height range the industry considers manageable and visually familiar within its existing editorial grammar. The woman who exists simultaneously at the far end of both coordinates is a person the industry's inherited categories were simply not designed to accommodate. Angel Fernandez does not fit into any category the mainstream modeling world built before she arrived. She is not tall the way a conventional runway model is tall. She is tall the way a full-figured SSBBW Latina woman is tall, which is an entirely different dimensional proposition, one that has never occupied mainstream platform conversation at this scale before, and that the thick curvy plus-size women search audience, which leads this channel's discovery data across the most recent 28-day period, encounters as something entirely new every single time they find her. 5.2 million people decided that the absence of an existing category was not a problem to be resolved. It was the entire point. Her content architecture reflects both dimensions with equal candor. The Guess My Game structure across her highlights: GF, BM, EX, Bestie, Sister, converts passive viewing into direct participatory engagement at a scale very few plus-size fashion model creators in this archive have managed with such sustained consistency. The mechanics are simple. The emotional intelligence behind them is not. By structuring personal disclosure as a game rather than a confession, Angel Fernandez transforms the act of her audience learning about her relationships into something they actively perform rather than passively receive, which deepens the audience bond with a durability that caption-based disclosure rarely achieves. The offset's Archnemesis positioning carries its own distinct cultural intelligence. To occupy the Archnemesis slot in relation to a mainstream celebrity is to assert a gravitational equivalence the conventional celebrity adjacency script does not provide for. She is not borrowing proximity. She is asserting parallel magnitude. At 23. From a full-figured SSBBW Latina plus-size model platform. Now the ratio. 6 documented uploads. 170 million. 131 million. 73.4 million. 72.7 million. 69 million. 60.1 million. Combined, 576.2 million views against 5.2 million followers. Combined ratio, 110.8 to 1. Single video peak, 32.7 to 1 from the 170 million view upload. 576 million combined views from 307 posts at 23 years old places the absolute content volume at Angel Fernandez in territory this archive has never previously documented at this convergence of age and post count. Brisna Reyes holds the highest single video ratio in this archive at 168.8 to 1. Valeria Godfrey holds the highest combined Instagram ratio at 151.3 to 1. Angel Fernandez's combined figure at 110.8 to 1 places her inside that company at 23, from a platform that has not yet fully expressed what it is capable of producing. The cultural touchstone for what this specific combination of exceptional physical stature, full-figured presence, and categorical refusal of the industry's inherited conventions looked like inside the European modeling tradition belongs to 1960s Germany. Veruschka von Lehndorff, a natural older woman over 60 now whose influence across the visual culture of the 1960s and early 70s remains the most luminous precedent for unconventional tall model presence the archive has to draw on, occupied a photographic register in her own decade that the industry had genuinely not designed a category to receive. Standing at 6 feet with a physical presence so singular that photographers like Franco Robertelli built entire visual languages around her, she became the most documented tall model presence of her era by occupying space the industry had not assigned her and remaining there. The natural older women over 60 who watched that emergence understand immediately the structural logic Angel Fernandez is running in the current decade. Different decade. Different dimensional coordinate. The same underlying refusal to wait for a category to be built around her before stepping into the frame. The natural older women over 50 who came after Veruschka's era inherited the partial victories that emergence produced. The natural older women over 40 who followed them inherited more. Angel Fernandez at 23 is the terminal point of that inheritance, the first plus-size model at the tallest designation to build 5.2 million followers and 576 million views from it, because the women before her did enough of the structural work that the argument no longer required making from the beginning. The 170 million view upload has been moving through the CurveWalk Studio plus-size model community in clip form this week, and the discovery pattern on those reposts is showing an unusually high proportion of first-time channel visitors arriving through the tallest model in the world female search pathway rather than through the plus-size model biography pathway, which indicates that the entry point for new viewers is curiosity about height, and the retention is built by everything else she is. The United States leads the audience geography, concentrated across the Latina community, the plus-size and full-figured fashion audience, and the tall model discovery community that arrives through the tallest model in the world female search cluster. Latin America extends the reach through cultural alignment. Germany and Canada contribute with above-average sustained watch durations. A question for the community. Angel Fernandez is 23, 5.2 million followers, 576 million combined views, and holds a world designation the full-figured creator space had not previously claimed. Hayley Bunny, hayleythebignoodle. the mid-20s SSBBW plus-size creator in this archive, whose single TikTok upload reached 88.1 million views from 192,000 followers, also built extraordinary reach from a physical presence the industry's grammar had not prepared a category for. Two young BBW and SSBBW plus-size curvy women, both at the outer edge of what the full-figured world had previously mapped. Watch the Hayley Bunny biography in the CurveWalk Studio plus-size curvy women documentary playlist and decide which edge is less forgiving. 23 years old. Tallest plus-size model in the world. Latina. 5.2 million followers. 576 million combined views. A full-figured BBW and SSBBW plus-size model whose physical reality the industry's existing frameworks could not contain. So she simply occupied the space and let the frameworks become peripheral. Subscribe to CurveWalk Studio. The Curve Files is on Spotify. Tell us who is next.